Welcome back for part 2 of my description of how, well, I play Phasmophobia. Here, you're going to get a play-by-play of me going through my thought processes in a lower difficulty setting where I show off places you can hide, explain why some places are better than others, explain the basics on how I decide places I want to hide in, as well as bringing in tools and explaining what I'm doing with them. So if you want to learn how I set up my rooms and how I search for the ghost, by all means, kick back and enjoy the video. If you've got some other tips and you're a veteran, like myself or a few others, drop your descriptions down below, and we will learn something together, because there's always something that all of us can learn so that we can play better at any game we play. So, like, comment, subscribe, and enjoy the video, everybody. Now, in reality, what you bring in on your first trip into the house is entirely up to you. Some people really prefer to have the flashlight so that they have lots of vision. Then they walk around with like Spirit Box and Yammer on. My suggestion is either, instead of Spirit Box, to bring a video camera or an EMF. If you're going to run around with a flashlight, take the EMF. Because quite often, when you first walk into the house, the ghost is going to do something. So if you run around with your EMF reader, you'll usually get a beep or a blip or something. Even if it's just a bit, that's enough to tell you where the ghost is. Personally, I'm more of a fan of leaving this here and bringing in 3 items and using my video camera as my flashlight. So, I always come into the house and just immediately start going ham on it. So I'll just look over here, Betty Davis, so I'll just go, Betty Davis, give me a sign. And I'll start scouring around while yelling at it to give me a sign, do something. You want to make sure you don't talk too much, because if you talk too much, you can easily miss small sounds the ghost makes. You can miss it flicking the light switch, you can miss it doing a footstep near you, you can miss it touching a door, like it just did. Throwing caulking on the floor, all sorts of things. Also, on lower difficulties, your first thing you should always think of is, where am I gonna go? Like, let's say I am in this room and the ghost hunts from the kitchen. When the ghost starts hunting, you'll have a brief period where the ghost will not be able to kill you. That period is longer on amateur and shorter on higher difficulties. So, I hear a footstep there, the ghost is hunting, my camera's going crazy. So what do? My immediate thought is close this door, at least as much as I can. That way the ghost won't see me. And then drop this, close this, and come over here. And then I get in the locker, close the locker, and I'm good. You gotta make sure that when you left click and close this, that you keep left clicking. You want to hold the door shut. And then you make no noise. If you speak, the ghost will kill you. There we go, the ghost is touching more doors. Also, wherever you're gonna hide, it's a good idea to keep the light on, because when the hunt ends, the lights will automatically turn off. So, plan your escape routes when you first enter the house, while you're still looking for the ghost, because you can very easily end up in a situation where you're totally screwed. On lower difficulties, you don't have to worry too much, because your breaker starts on, the house starts hot. So when you're on these low difficulties, you can actually come into the house with a thermostat and just check around with a thermostat. But, oh, like see right there. That startled me. You saw how my camera spazzed out there, right? That's because it did a ghost event. Right as I was saying that, I saw the ghost orb. You can see it right there, sort of flickering around the room. So, the ghost is in this room, and we have a child. So, now that I've located my ghost orb, you can keep on the lights when you don't need them off, because they maintain sanity more. So see, we got one of our objectives here, because the ghost appeared and said hey. So now that we got one of our evidence, we come over to evidence and we click on Ghost Orb. That eliminates a good chunk of the list. So, I usually like to bring in the book, because because the book can sometimes take forever. So I look down, push F, and there we go. Book is down. Turn off the light, pull out my spirit box. Where are you? You see how the X lights up and forms a black X. If that X does not light up, like if I do so, where are you? It doesn't work anymore, see? That's because I Alt-tabbed and I clicked on the program. To fix that, you just simply push Alt-tab, and then down in your taskbar you click on the Phasmophobia icon, and where are you? There we go, it's working again. So now you just stand here and do stuff like, where are you? How old are you? Are you friendly? Are you French? It will actually, amusingly enough, answer that if it's a spirit box ghost, but I don't think it is. Another thing we can check for is fingerprints, but I'll do that after. So, now that we've identified that it is one evidence type, sometimes you can eliminate one of these, but it doesn't look like Ghost Orb is one of the ones that you can do that with. Yep, no, we still have to test all of these evidence types. And so we already have a book in there, so let's grab an EMF reader, dots, and I have UV over there. But before I go in, I want to check this. My sanity is around 75. Well, it's probably at its lowest is 75, its highest seems to be 79, so its average is probably 77. Because it jumps up and down, it doesn't stay consistent. Which means whatever ghost we've got could potentially hunt me right now. We will see. Nonetheless, now I bring in my other tools. My third tool is going to be UV. I want to check for them lovely fingers. But you saw how when it hunted, or when it didn't hunt, when it interacted, when it appeared there, I immediately was gone. Like, I didn't hesitate. And the reason for that is I do not know what sound the ghost makes when it hunts yet. Give me a sign! Because I do not know what sound the ghost makes yet, I didn't want to take chances. As soon as I saw my camera go blurry, or my tools start to go weird, I was gone. The reason why I dropped the video camera on the floor is because you cannot turn the video camera off. You can only turn night vision on and off. Oh, see how the door is still open? That means it's not hunting. That was just a ghost event. Startling, but a ghost event. EMF 4. That is standard for a ghost event. Oh, EMF 3, it did something else. Not seeing any fingerprints. Granted, I don't think it's touched anything. Do you hear that? Where are you? There we go. Are you French?
Hey.
It hates the French. So, right there we have Spirit Box. How old are you? See, Spirit Box can sometimes be very picky. That's why I just usually leave it on. If I haven't crossed it off my list of evidence, I leave it on because sometimes the ghost will just randomly talk to it. So, right there we narrowed it down to Onryo, Yokai, or Mare. I'm thinking we got a yokai, because every time I've been in there talking, it's got super angry. And that's a trait that a yokai has. There's lots of small traits, you don't need to memorize them all when you first join the game. These are things that you just learn over time by reading these descriptions and seeing how ghosts actually act. There are some very important things in here, like the wraith will never leave footprints. Keep in mind, this says that it can't be tracked by footsteps. This doesn't mean the sound. It'll still make stomping sounds when it steps in salt and stomp around, but you cannot see the feet. It's weird how that works. Nonetheless, I need a photo of this ghost, and, much more importantly, you can check here, because I set up the video camera in the room, for dots. So if we have dots, you can see them from here. It'll just be a white silhouette of the ghost moving super quickly across wherever your dots are. There's only a chance, every so often, of the ghost giving you dots. But I don't even know if dots is an option. We have 3 ghosts left. We have 5 evidence left. Fingerprints cannot be an option, because none of these ghosts are fingerprints. so I can just cross that off. No point using the UV now. Ghost writing would give us mare, freezing temps for unreal, and dots for yokai, which means it cannot be EMF 5. So now I'm looking for dots, writing, or freezing. There's the orb again, meaning that the ghost is right on top of this camera. So, for dots, it's one of the more annoying ones at times. In Nightmare, dots can be terrible, because the ghost will roam so much that it's hard to get dots, because for a ghost, you have to come back to the truck to see dots. And if when you get back to the truck, the ghost has moved, you're screwed. So it's really nice that they changed it recently, so that the ghost doesn't change rooms when it doesn't hunt. But also in Asylum, that means that you can sometimes get back to the truck, find out it hunted, it's moved to a different room, and now you can't get dots, and you have to go all the way down there and move everything again. It's terrible. Nonetheless, I'm not seeing any dots right now. The ghost is consistently staying in this room, as you can see from the orbs. So let's grab a thermostat. At long last, it's time to bring this baby inside. I don't really trust the thermo anymore, because of the fact of, well, the snow really screws with thermo. It's really hard to get the proper temps. Oh, see that? Now the lights turn on. God damn it. So the ghost has turned off the breaker. In order to turn back on the breaker, you need to come down here and push this. Keep this in mind. If you are playing single player, push to talk does not work. You just really... Oh, you son of a... So, if you're playing in single player, push to talk doesn't do anything. But if you're playing in multiplayer, push to talk will actually impede your ability to talk to the ghost. This thing might be a mare. Oh, no, it's writing. So, you see the ghost is written in our book here. We got a bunch of little scribbles. And the pen is gone, if you notice. The ghost will write in here and then throw the pen away. So that's one way you can tell if there's writing, is just by the fact that the pen is missing. So, we have writing, checking writing, we got a mare, that's right. That changed at the last second with it fucking with the light switches. Anyway. So, we can't get freezing now, because it's not freezing. So, with that, we've identified what the ghost is, rather easily. But, let's say the ghost was to try to murder me. Like, I'm in this room, ghost tries to kill me. What should I do? My immediate thought should be, this is a death trap. I do not want to be in this room. Even if the ghost is in the hallway, I do not want to stay in this room, because there is nowhere to hide. As you saw there, the moment I saw any flickers, I was gone. Instantaneously, no hesitation. Because this room, there's nowhere to hide in this room. The only place you could try to hide is here, and I have not tested that, and I do not recommend trying it. Maybe if you open like this and hide in that corner, maybe. I might test that sometime with my friends. But it has never been tested. I am willing to bet that will get you killed. So, what do you do if you're in this room and the ghost hunts? Your immediate thought should be, I have a moment of safety, so you run out here, and you hide straight in this closet. What if you hear steps out here? If you hear steps right here, you've got to get around this corner, and you've got to try to break the ghost's sight of you, and get into the garage. Because if you can get in here and the ghost can't see you, you just immediately dip in here, and you're good. As long as you don't make noise. That's the biggest thing in a hunt, is to be quiet and make sure the ghost never sees you hide. But of course, these are tips for the easier difficulties. For the higher difficulties, well, I'll have to give you that advice in a moment, so just hang tight, and we'll be back with a Nightmare edition. Well, I hope that you enjoyed my little breakdown of little intermediate tips and a showed play-by-play of how I played on Professional and lower. Nonetheless, if you've got some neat hiding places, drop them down in the comments down below, because we all need more places to escape the ghost, and it's better that we all communicate with each other all these different weird little tricks and nooks and crannies that we found to escape the ghost. Sort of like how a bunch of people told me about the fact that you can break line of sight in the bottom basement of Asylum by opening doors so that the ghost can't see you, and the ghost will slow down so you can get away. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for the next one, because there's probably one more at least, and then if people say that they want to see an actual like breakdown of hiding places or escape routes on the different maps, I'm more than willing to do a full map by map breakdown and explain how to play all of them on Nightmare, because Nightmare is a whole different beast from the rest of the game. Have a good day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one, everybody. Keep having fun.